This month, I pointed a screw and cut a cable. We are back and we're gonna get right to it. So this month we are creating a frame mounted friction shifter for this cool old school commuter bike that I have. The current setup on the bike is a bit of a hodgepodge and basically only allows me to use 5, maybe 6 on a good day of the gears on the back, which there are 9. So I wanted to see if we could create a shifter that would allow us to make use of all of them. Now, since we already have parts of the system, we're not going to reinvent the whole wheel. We're just going to make a couple bits that we need and then reuse some of the existing pieces because we're lazy and let's make life easy on ourselves. So the parts that we have are the collar that attaches to the frame, the printed backing and a washer, the printed lever, a couple more washers from the original setup, and the tension screw. Also a new cable because they're good to have. Now, let's talk limit screws for a quick second. What do? They set the upper and lower limits of your derailleur's travel. Why does that matter? It stops your chain from skipping over the top cog and falling in between the cogs and the spokes. And it also stops your chain from skipping down and getting stuck in between the cogs and your frame. It also makes it way easier to set things up. Later on down the road, as you'll see, when we put the new cable and everything in, we literally just put it in, do up the screw, no worries. So, back to the build, we are putting the collar on the frame. This is a part that we're reusing from the old setup because it's way easier than trying to print one. We probably could, and maybe we'll do a fully printed version in a future episode, but for now, we're gonna keep it simple and use a very good part that we already have. Upcycle, recycle, sustainability, whatever you want to call it. So with that on, we can put the backing plate, we can put the washer, we can put the lever, and then we also have the tension screw and the stack of washers that goes within it. And if we can get the threads to engage, maybe. There we go. We tighten it down, and what the screw does is gives us the necessary friction to overcome the pull of the spring in the derailleur that constantly wants to put us into the hardest gear. We use this friction to overcome that force and keep us in whatever gear we've selected. So that's kind of like the 10-second explanation of how friction shifters work. Now, with everything installed, all that's left is to route the new cable through the housings on the bike all the way back to the derailleur. And then we'll pull some tension into the cable, clamp it down with the screw, cut the end off, run it through the gears on the floor here just to double check everything, and take it for a test ride. Now, I love having the right tool for the job, but you gotta use what you gotta use. I really miss the cable cutters at the bike shop. It was so easy to clip cable ends, cap it, out the door. Never had to do any of this twisty stuff. And let's give it a test run. See if we can get through all 9 speeds. Working. That's where we used to get to with the old setup. Oh, nice. We jumped past it. Let's get to the top. Sweet. Now let's see how she performs in the real world on the road. So I live on a bit of a hill and it's always uphill to come home. So went for a little bit of a noodle, came back, rode up the hill. As you can see, we got into some of the lower gears that made that climb a lot easier. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with how everything turned out.